So, good afternoon, students. And today we will be starting a new chapter, that is motion. So, already we have discussed the sequence of the curriculum, that how we will be moving. First, we did matter in our surrounding. Second, we did cell. And third, we will be doing motion. Okay. So, today we are going to start the new chapter, that is motion. Before starting, the concept of the motion, student, what do you mean by the term motion? No need to go for the technical definition or the technical terms. If I say, what do we mean by motion? Okay, Ayush, always spontaneous, very good, very active. Yes, Ayush.
Sir, moving object. Moving object.
Moving object. Okay, you are saying moving object means motion. Okay, I want this feedback from all the students. All the participants should answer that. What do you mean by motion? Ayush has answered. Abhinav, let me have an idea from you. Abhinav,
Yes, sir.
what is motion, Abhinav?
Anything that changes its place with respect to time is called motion.
Okay. Anything which change its position with respect to time, you said. Okay. Harsh, unmute yourself. Harsh, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Harsh, can you say what do you mean by motion? Are you in motion now, Harsh? Tell me. Are you in motion?
Sound not coming, sir.
But your sound is audible. Okay, maybe.
Yes, sir. Now what are you asking, sir?
I asked that what do you mean by motion?
When a body changes its position with respect to time.
Okay. Okay, fine. Next, Kumkum. Unmute yourself, Kumkum.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by motion?
Change in position with respect to reference point.
A reference point. Okay, you have read out the slide. Okay. Okay, Kumkum, good. Very good. Now see, students. Now let me enlarge this. Student, this image you can see. This is a car in motion with reference to some stationary object. Now, so what is motion? Motion is definitely when a body changes its position with respect to a particular point. This particular point we are calling as a reference point from the point of view of science. Reference point means that suppose you are going, suppose the thing is that your house is 10 kilometers east of the railway station. Suppose I'm giving you one situation. Your house is 10 kilometers east of the railway station. Then why we are, how can, and why we are using this word railway station here? For what we are using this word railway station? I repeat my question. If I'm saying your house is 10 kilometers east of the railway station, what is the importance of using the railway station as a point we are talking about? Okay, Harsh, unmute yourself.
We are using railway station as a reference point because
Okay,
it is a place everyone knows.
Okay, it is a place everyone knows, a reference point that definitely 10 kilometers east of, that means from the railway station, our house, or suppose one example, our house, your house is 10 kilometers east. So we are referring the railway station as a point. So it is called as a reference point. So whenever, suppose if a car is standing, okay, and if a car is moving, but when we will say that the car is in motion, when the car changes its position with reference to the stationary object. You can see in this image, there are some trees, there are some house. So when a car is shifting its position, when a car is shifting, when the car, suppose the car is moving in this direction, in the forward direction, okay? So these objects, the tree, the house, these all the buildings, these are stationary objects. So we will be saying the car is in motion with respect to some point, with respect to the tree, with respect to the buildings, with respect to other examples. Okay, so whenever a body changes its position with time or with respect to any other object or a reference point, it is called, or it is known to be, motion. Is it clear, student, the definition of motion? Okay, it's good, Harsh. If okay, fine. Good to share your feedback regarding the exam. Okay, exam was good. Okay, fine. Very good. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay, Ayush. Yes, Ayush. Unmute yourself, Ayush. You raised your hand. You have any queries?
सर एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आया था हु डिस्कवर द सेल थ्योरी
Okay.
आंसर
Huh. Just a moment. Yes, Ayush. Again, unmute. Again, unmute yourself.
सर इसका आंसर क्या था
What you have written, Ayush?
सर रॉबर्ट हुक
Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke discovered the cell, Ayush. Okay.
सर सेल थ्योरी के
Cell theory, huh? It's other. Let me interact with the other student also regarding cell is discovered by Robert Hooke. Cell was discovered by Robert Hooke. But cell theory, anyone? Yes. Actually, students see Schledy and Schwann. Okay, the scientists, they proposed the cell theory. Okay, so this was the answer for this. Okay. And later on, it was also modified. So Schledy and Schwann, they proposed the cell theory. Okay, Ayush? Okay. Okay, yes, I got your answer. So now, student, let us come to the next portion. Let us come to the next concept. And one thing, student, regarding the study material for today's online class, I will be sending in the group by evening or afternoon, so that you can write down that up to where we will be doing. I will send you the material so that in our next class, we can start from where we will end today's class. Now, next question, sorry, next topic, not next question. Next topic is distance and displacement. Now, what is distance first? Distance is the distance traveled by the body's actually length. It is the actual length of the path covered by the moving body, irrespective of the direction in which the body travels. Okay. So if suppose you are starting from, let me use this image. If suppose you are starting from 0 meter, you are going then covering 2 meter, then you are covering 4 meter, then you are covering 6 meter, then you are covering 8 meter, and then you are covering 10 meter. So you are covering the distance of, how much distance you have covered? Student, in this example, how much distance you have covered? All of you must answer. Okay, in the chat box. How much distance we have covered? Yes, correct. Total 10 meters. Okay, total 10 meters we have covered. So distance covered is actually the total length of the path traveled. Okay, so this is the distance. But there is another term. There is another term, that displacement. Now, what is displacement? When a body moves from one point to another, the distance traveled referred to the actual length of the indirect path, whereas the displacement referred to the straight line path between the initial and the final position. Between the initial and the final position. So the total pathway, the difference between the initial and the final pathway, that becomes the displacement. Okay. So suppose if you start from, I'm saying about, suppose you're starting from 0 meter and you're going up to 10 meters. So what is the displacement here? Difference between the initial and the final position? Can anyone tell? What is the displacement over here? Through the chat box to give the reply. I asked Ritika that suppose you are starting from 0 meter, you are going up to 10 meter, then what is your displacement? Okay, Harsh, correct, 10 meter. Between the final minus initial position, 10 minus 0, that becomes your displacement. Okay. Now, student, we are coming to another very important, the next topic, that is a scalar and the vector quantity. Remember, student, there are some quantities which have only magnitude associated with them, but there are some physical quantities which have both magnitude and the directions. Like some example of the scalar quantities you can see over the screen: length, area, volume, speed, mass, density, pressure, temperature, energy, work, power. Okay, so these physical quantity we measure in terms of only magnitude, but no direction is associated with it. But the vector quantities have the direction always associated with them, like displacement, the velocity, acceleration, force, weight. Okay, so these are the vector quantity. For example, you can, if I want to compare in the distance and displacement, then distance is definitely a scalar quantity. Why? Because it has only magnitude and no direction. For example, student, I say that you are starting from 0 meter, you are covering the distance of 10 meter, but I'm not saying 10 meter east, west, south, anything like that. So whether I will be saying this is a distance covered or this is a displacement. Okay, this is distance. Okay, correct. This is distance. But the displacement is the vector quantity because it has magnitude as well as direction. Next, the distance traveled by a moving body cannot be zero. Because a body is moving, it will surely cover some or the other distance. But the final displacement of the moving body can be zero. Why? Because suppose a body after covering, why we are saying the displacement of the body can be zero? Let me show you with the help of a image. Suppose student, suppose you are starting from, suppose you are starting from a point A, okay? Suppose you are starting from point A, you are going to point B. Again, you are coming back from B. Sorry, just a moment. Again, from point B, you are coming back to A. So what will be your displacement? First, you are moving from A to B. and then you're coming from B to A. The moving body finally comes back to its starting point. So what will be the displacement over here? Good, Harsh. Very quick answer. Okay, I want this answer from all the students. Some of the students are responding through chat box. You can also raise your hand. Kumkum, what will be the displacement over here? I said, yes, Kumkum, what will be the displacement?
Yes, sir.
If suppose you are starting from a point A, you are going to point B, and then again from point B, you are coming back to your point A. So what will be the displacement in this case? Just now we have discussed. Ayush, what will be the displacement in this case?
सर 0 मीटर
Why?
सर क्योंकि हम जिस पॉइंट से पे आए जिस पॉइंट पे गए जिस पॉइंट से शुरू किए थे वही पॉइंट पे वापस आ गए
Okay, fine. Okay, Harsh. Yes, Harsh also want to answer. Yes, Harsh.
0 meter, because
Okay.
displacement is the minimum distance covered by the starting point.
Minimum distance between the starting point and the final point. Okay, good. Yes. So I think, student, the concept of distance and displacement is clear to all, because this question is asked in the examination that what is the difference between displacement and distance. So can anyone tell me that how we can differentiate between the two? Because already we have covered 3 points in the distance and displacement. We have already covered 3 points in distance and displacement. Anyone? Harsh, unmute yourself. Difference between distance and displacement?
Distance is the length of path traveled by us, and displacement is the minimum distance covered by starting point to the end point.
Okay, good. Second point, Ayush. Ayush, second difference.
सर
Please don't.
distance is the scalar quantity
Okay, yes, good.
distance is the scalar quantity and displacement is the vector quantity
Displacement is a vector quantity. Fine, good. Very good. And yes, Ritika. Ritika also want to answer. Unmute yourself, Ritika. Third point.
Yes. Sir, displacement can be 0, but distance cannot be 0.
Okay, very good. So these are the 3 major difference between distance and displacement. Now, student, comes another very, very important concept, that is uniform motion. Okay, now, student, see, there is a graph. Okay, on one axis we have taken time, and another axis we have taken distance. Okay, first don't come to the term, first understand the graph. Okay, one axis we have taken time, and another axis we have taken distance. Now, so in 1 minute, the body is covering 10 meters. In another 1 minute, the difference between 2 and 1. In another 1 minute, the body is covering how much? 20 minus 10, 10 meters. In another 1 minute, the body is covering 30 minus 20, that means 10 meters. In another 1 minute, the body is covering 10 meters. In another 1 minute, the body is covering again 10 meters. Now, why I'm saying another minute and 10 meters? Because you can see in this graph, the difference between the successive time is same. 2 minus 1, then 3 minus 2, then 4 minus 3, then 5 minus 4, then 6 minus 5. So the difference each and every step, how much the difference in time is coming? It's 1 minute. Okay. And now you see, for every minute, how much the distance traveled? For the first minute, 20 minus 10, that means 10. For the next 1 minute, 30 minus 20, again 10. Then again 40 minus 30, that means again 10. Then again 50 minus 40, that means again 10. And then again 60 minus 50, again 10. So what we are observing in this graph, the body is covering equal distance of how much? 10 meters in equal interval of time. And what is the interval of time over here? 1 minute. So 1 minute is the time interval, and 10 meter is the distance. So this type of motion is called uniform motion. And if we plot the graph, it is a straight line passing through the origin. So this type of motion is called uniform motion, when a body covers equal distance in equal interval of time. Is it clear to you? Is it clear to you, the concept of, just a moment. Just a moment, students. Yes. Okay, Ayush. Yes, I got the feedback. Yes. So this is correct. This is the case of uniform motion. Anyone having any doubt in this? What do you mean by uniform motion? Now see, student. So if suppose I ask you, student, what is the nature of the graph obtained for uniform motion? What we will say? What is the nature of the graph obtained for uniform motion? What is the nature of the graph obtained for uniform motion? Okay, Harsh.
The distance covered is equal and in every equal interval of time.
No, Harsh, you didn't understood my question. What is the nature of the graph? The distance time graph, if we plot, we will say it is a straight line. Okay, this is the key word. So the distance time graph for the uniform motion is a straight line. Okay, is it clear, Harsh? Okay, fine. Okay. Now, students, I'm coming to the next type of motion, non-uniform motion. Now, again, you see the situation over here. See, here, the time intervals 2 minus 0, 2 seconds. Just a moment. Just a moment, let me. Yes. Okay. Yes. So here, students, see the graph. Here, see 2 minus 0, 4 minus 2, 6 minus 4. Okay. Student, here in this graph, this will be 14. Okay. 14. Now, just a moment. Let me use one. Let me show you. Just a moment. Just a moment, students. I am bringing my next slide to you all. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. Just give me one more second. Okay. Yes. I think this screen is visible to all. Just a moment. My screen is getting loaded. Okay. Now my screen is visible to all. This slide. Yes, Ayush, you have written that how to write the notes of this chapter. Today evening, Ayush, by evening I will send in the WhatsApp class group. Okay, so there you will write. Okay. Now, students, see, if suppose a body is starting from a point and in equal interval of time, suppose 1 minute gap the body is covering, but if it cover unequal distance, because we said in uniform motion it cover equal distance in equal interval of time, but here it will cover unequal distance in equal interval of time. So this is a difference between the uniform and the non-uniform motion. Is it clear to all of you that what is the difference between uniform and non-uniform motion? Is it clear to all? Uniform difference between uniform and non-uniform motion. When the body cover equal distance in equal interval of time, it is said to be uniform, and when the body cover unequal distance in equal interval of time, it is said to be in uniform motion. Okay. Now, students, let me show you some concept regarding, just a moment. Just let me show you one. Just a moment. Just a moment. Actually, I want to show you an animation on this. Just give me a few seconds. Just a second. My screen is visible to students. My screen was visible to you. The animation which I was showing you. Did the animation was visible to you? Just give me a reply. Okay, Harsh. Okay. 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 Maybe some technical glitch. Okay, no problem. Let me go with the. Let me go with the. Just a moment. Okay. Okay, let me come to this Okay, fine. Okay, now my screen is visible. My screen. Now my screen is visible. Okay, fine. Okay. Now, student, the concept of uniform and non-uniform motion is clear to you all. Now we are coming to another term, that is speed, velocity, and acceleration. First, student, speed. Speed, definitely, it is the total distance traveled by the time taken. So it gives us an idea that how slow and fast the body is moving. So speed of the body is definitely the distance traveled divided by the time taken. You can see the mathematical expression for the speed covered also. That speed of the body, if we denote V as to be the speed, S the distance traveled, then the mathematical expression for speed, the distance traveled and the time taken is V is equals to S by T. Next, again come the concept uniform speed. If the body travels equal distance in equal interval of time. Be careful, student, in this chapter there is a lot of things many terms will come, like uniform motion, uniform speed, uniform acceleration, uniform velocity. So don't get confused. So tabulate, we will tabulate it in such a way that it should be very easy for you to answer. Okay. So what is speed? Speed definitely means the distance traveled by time taken. And if the body cover equal distance, if the body is covering equal distance in equal interval of time, then definitely the speed of the body is said to be uniform. And average speed means the total. Yes. Average speed means the total distance by the total time taken. These students, we will apply this all formula when we will do the numerical. Okay. Again, velocity. Velocity is the displacement by time taken. Okay. And students, can you guess velocity will be the scalar or vector quantity? Velocity will be the scalar or vector quantity. Can anyone guess? Velocity will be the scalar or vector quantity. Okay, Ritika. Unmute yourself, Ritika.
Sir, vector quantity.
Vector quantity. Okay, fine. Because it has direction associated with it. Yes, Ayush. Yes, Ayush, mute yourself.
Sir,
Unmute. Okay, vector quantity.
vector quantity.
Okay, fine. So, student, till this, I think all the concept is clear to you all. Let us have a brief recapitulation of what we have studied today. At first, we studied what is motion. Let us recall for the last few minutes. Let us recall today's class. So, what is motion? For this, I will ask Pranav. Pranav, unmute yourself, Pranav. How can you define motion, Pranav? How can you define motion, Pranav? Pranav, unmute yourself. I've given you the option to unmute yourself. Okay, Suryansh, unmute yourself, Suryansh. Suryansh, unmute yourself. Suryansh.
Yes, sir.
Suryansh, what is motion?
Yes.
How can you define motion? How can you define motion, Suryansh?
A body, sir, sir, a body is said to be a motion when a position change.
When the
It's called a
position of
motion.
the body change with respect to time. Okay. Next, what is distance and displacement? Anyone? Distance and displacement. Distance and displacement. Okay, Harsh. Unmute yourself.
The distance is the distance is the length of path traveled by an moving object.
The length of the
And displacement is the minimum point of starting to end.
Okay, Harsh. Good. Yes, next question to Ayush.
Yes, sir.
Ayush, what are scalar and vector quantities?
Sir, a scalar quantity are quantity which have only magnitude, or vector quantity are quantity that have magnitude and direction.
Okay, very good. Scalar and vector quantity. Okay. Next question. Kumkum. Unmute yourself, Kumkum.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Kumkum, what do you mean by uniform motion?
If object covers equal distance in equal interval of time.
Okay, correct. If the body covered equal distance in equal interval of time. And Kumkum, what do you mean by non-uniform motion?
If object covers an equal distance in equal interval of time, is called non-uniform motion.
Okay. Equal distance in? Yes, repeat Kumkum once. What you said? Once repeat Kumkum. What you said,
If
Kumkum?
object covers if object covers an equal distance in equal interval of time, is called non-uniform motion.
Unequal distance. Okay. Yes, student, our class is going to end. Few seconds left. So you will prepare definitely as assignment. I won't give you extra assignment today because tomorrow is your exam, periodic test. So I will send you the note later on. You will write the same in your copy. Okay. So thank you, students, for today's class. Thank you.